This is the Antec Flux M, a sub $70 case, and it's way more interesting than it has any right to be. Today I'm doing a full deep dive review, layouts, compatibility, cable management, airflow, and cooling support. We'll test air cooling, AIOs, and even custom water cooling. We'll break down what Antec absolutely nailed and where they missed the mark. So by the end, you'll know whether this case is actually worth your money. Currently on the market, we can find the Antec Flux M for 95 Australian dollars and between 65 to 70 US dollars. As far as sizing, we have a length of about 460 mil, a width of 246 mil, and a height of 366 mil. And the case feet sit up about 20 mil, giving plenty of room for air to come into the case. The front tempered glass panel features toolless removal, and the glass itself seems to be about 3 mil thick. The front panel is completely toolless removal. It is fully made of mesh and completely plastic around the outside. Our front I/O features power reset. We have our mic and headphone jack. We've got USB Type A and USB Type C 10 gigabit per second. And on the top of the case, we have an included dust filter, just magnetized in section. You can see that by removing the dust filter, we have access to 120mm fans, but plenty of ventilation. We'll get more into the fans once we dive into the case. And we have something interesting here as well. That's because the traditional layout of the power supply is actually moved into this section, but we'll dive into that as we go into the back of the case. Bottom of the case also features another magnetic dust filter, gives access to our 120mm fan radiator bracket. We'll touch on the fans as we get into the case, and we also have 4 included plastic feet with rubber stoppers on them to stop the case from slipping around on the desk. At the back of the case, we have plenty of ventilation above the fan. 120mm fan can be installed at the rear. No space for 140s. It does look like we only have horizontal mounting for GPU. And coming out of the power supply power, we have not 1, but 2 zip tie points, so we can zip tie the power cable. Perhaps bring the USB over here as well and keep that all nice and neat. Our rear panel is fairly standard. However, the venting for the power supply is actually moved over to the rear left because of the relocation of the power supply. And this back panel is removed simply by releasing the 2 thumb screws on the rear. At the rear of the case, my first thought is, wow, there is so much room for cables. I mean, look at that clearance right there. We'll get further into that, but we are greeted with 2 panels, which can not only hide power supply cables, especially this one down here. They can both be removed, but this one here serves to hold 2 SSDs and 2 hard drives. Something to note, guys, if you do plan on installing hard drives, then it obviously limits the space behind them, but no need to worry because we still have plenty of space below and plenty of space behind this panel right here. Cable management, let's check it out. 40 mil clearance in this rear section. That is absolutely phenomenal. 60 mil clearance in the power supply compartment. Just keeps getting better. I even see a lot of cases on the market when their power supply cable is coming through, a lot of them just have it hanging. This one actually has dedicated clips to keep it up the top. No included grommets with this case. You can see 2 cutouts up the top, a couple down the side, and even some down the bottom there. But that is just beautiful how many cutouts they have provided. I mean, look, even around the motherboard tray, so many zip tie points coming all the way around and down the bottom, even down here and up the side here as well. Guys, normally when you're looking at cases around this price range, you don't see this many features available, especially for cable management and the amount of room that they are providing. It's actually quite incredible. The case does not come with a fan or RGB hub. However, you do have all of them daisy chained together. They use your typical 3-pin ARGB headers. So just make sure you either purchase a motherboard with a 3-pin header on it, or on the market, you get something for so cheap these days. An ARGB controller with fan hub in it. Purchase one of those, save yourself some money. You can use the 6 pre-installed fans. In terms of power supply compatibility, you can see that we can fit our average size power supply in. This is 170mm. However, you need to be careful. Case compatibility actually says 160 mil. However, every cable that I need is installed and I can make 170 mil fit. The reason is because the back section here is actually on a slant. So if I leave the cables out of the back row, bring them to the top rows, then I have so much more cable clearance room. Oh, I didn't actually realize that the 24-pin and the CPU power is actually in the bottom row. So if you really wanted to, you can actually fit a 170 mil. I think Antec's just been a bit cautious because they don't want anyone to purchase the case and then have a power supply not fit. So by taking a centimeter off what it really actually is, it means that they've covered themselves a bit. Moving around to the inside of the case, you can see we have 2 pre-installed 120mm fans. We've also got 1 on the rear. Both the 2 front and the rear are both ARGB, and then down the bottom here you can see we have 1, 2, 3 reverse blade performance PWM fans. Every single slot in this case, including the top, can only fit 120mm fans. There are no 140mm fans that can fit in this case. You can fit MATX motherboards or ITX motherboards inside. Unfortunately, we do not have any space to fit your full-size ATX motherboards. And look at that, for such a small case, the biggest GPU that we own being 360mm long, 75mm thick, fits like a glove, and we have plenty of space there for even longer cards if need be. In fact, if you wanted a longer card in there, you have about another 45mm worth of play before you hit the fans. Even down below, we've got a nice 20mm gap between the fans and the GPU, so if you have any GPUs over 75mm thick, you shouldn't have any issues. One thing I've noticed when installing the GPU is that this gap right here is actually not large enough. The IO of the GPU keeps getting caught on it when I'm trying to line the IO of the back of the graphics card in between the slots to go between the motherboard and the case. Let me show you what happened. I almost have to pull this back a bit to actually get this part underneath it, and then I could slot it in. And I don't know if it's because of the motherboard and because of the capacitors that were located here, but it certainly is an issue. And if this was a bigger opening, it would fix the issue right away. And for such a budget case, we've also got access to a GPU support bracket, which is such a nice welcome in a cheap case like this. In fact, they've done such a brilliant design with the support bracket that instead of adjusting the bracket from inside the case, which would be honestly really hard to do with limited room to work with, they've actually brought the screw around to the back of the case to make it so much easier. Well done, Antec. If you wanted to install a tower cooler, you could fit anything up to 175mm, and you can see we still have so much clearance up the top if we want to install 3 fans for exhaust. In terms of AIO coolers, at the front here, you could fit a 240, but what is the point when you can fit a 360mm cooler in there to cool the hottest CPUs on the market? Yes, all of that compact in such a small case. However, I'm really interested to see how this airflow works, with 3 fans pulling straight into the GPU, 2 straight into the case, and then 4 exhaust. Let's get some smoke in there and we'll see how it looks. I mean, what a case. 6 pre-installed fans, all of these incredible features, all of that airflow for between $65 and $70 US. However, we're not done just yet. You guys know we love our water cooling, so obviously we have to see what this case is capable of in terms of a custom loop. Water cooling our PC is going to be so heavily dependent on how large our water block is. This is an average size that you would expect to find on the market, and behind it you can see, obviously our GPU that we had in the air-cooled version of this build is so much bigger. Let's see how it looks. GPU seemed a little easier to install. Unfortunately in this case, because there's no swivel on the GPU mount, a lot of water block cards on the market won't actually be able to utilize the GPU support built into the case. And to be honest, you'll probably never reach the GPU mount until you have a GPU of a length of at least 280mm. Top of the case, unfortunately, we cannot fit thick radiators in. The fans are actually blocking them. I've got this fan down at the lowest point, these fans down at the lowest point, and we can't fit it in. And I still have yet to install some fans on top of here. This particular radiator is about 65mm thick. Our Finnar EKS 360 seems to fit this way, however, it is too wide. These plastic clips, they're sticking in too much, and the radiator is scraping on the back power supply panel at the rear, so we can't actually fit this thickness in. And we have this same issue with the P30 case that we just reviewed. It seems like the max width that we could actually fit in there is about 128mm, so we got to be really careful with our radiator choice. You can see right here that our XR5 is actually nowhere near as wide as the S360 underneath. Yeah, that is looking really good. Look at all that clearance. So we're not even going to run into any trouble running into the fans when we get the tubes coming out and down. That's just the perfect amount of space. As much as I would like to fit a 240mm radiator in this position at the front here, unfortunately, I would either have to sacrifice a fan down the bottom or I would have to sacrifice a radiator up the top. And that doesn't really make practical sense because you would rather have the 360 up the top for more cooling potential. And if I put that 240 at the front, that's gonna limit me down the bottom. Let's check it out. Check that out, guys. We can actually fit another 360mm radiator down the bottom with plenty of clearance between the GPU and the top of the radiator. Now, we do have the cable going through there. I think if we brought the cable up and over the top, we could actually fit a 45mm radiator in there and still get away with fitting the tubes underneath the GPU. Yeah, never mind. Don't do a 45mm radiator. There's only 30mm between the top of the radiator and the GPU block. Most fittings stand more than 15mm tall. So if you add that extra 15mm thickness, it's not gonna work. Stick to your 30mm radiators for the bottom section of the case. Now, the cool thing about this layout is we now have another unique opportunity of adding a 120mm radiator to the front, plus still having plenty of room to be able to mount a reservoir. Option number one to mount a reservoir would be a connection straight to the front radiator itself. Be kind of like that when you install the fan bracket at the rear and install it on that radiator. Option B, and honestly my favorite option, would be to install it with the fan bracket at the bottom. However, one thing you need to note is the reservoir is now blocking the 120mm radiator option. So in all honesty, if it was up to me and my personal opinion, I would actually ditch the 120mm radiator. I would use the reservoir because there aren't too many other options unless you want to get a bit creative, drill some holes, or mount it in weird locations. And by getting rid of that, you still have two 360mm radiators that'll be able to cool both the GPU and the CPU. The Antec Flux M. Overall, a beautiful small case that is not going to break the wallet. A few minor details needing a little bit of work, such as the minor issue with the GPU not fitting in due to the size of the cutout at the rear, but also no ability to utilize the anti-sag bracket with water-blocked GPUs that aren't at least 280mm in length. But honestly, that doesn't change our opinion of how good this case actually is. For $65 to $70, being able to fit full custom loop in and to include 6 fans with it, plus the amazing amount of cable management space, is absolutely incredible. Overall, I'm extremely happy and it far exceeded my expectations. And if you guys want to see an ATX case that we recently reviewed, which has incredible airflow, go and check this video out right here. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing. Leave your comments down below. What did you think about this case? Is this something you could see on your desk? And we'll see you in the next one.